Hey, what's up everyone? Nick here. Welcome back to the Arkham Knight story-related DLC. Once again, we're going to be continuing on with another Arkham episode. This time, we are going to be doing one of my favorite ones, the Nightwing Story Pack. This one is called GCPD Lockdown, and if you remember, in the main game, in the main Arkham Knight game, there was a side mission that we were introduced to where we played as Nightwing, and we were taking down a penguin operation. Nightwing had tracked this arms shipment from Bloodhaven to Gotham, and he showed up. We met with him, and we took down one of Penguin's operations.
This is gonna be fun.
And as I mentioned during my main game walkthrough, I wasn't going to do the whole side quest, but so this is kind of the continuing trend of this little DLC right here, is we're playing as Nightwing, and we are basically once again trying to halt Penguin's operations. This time, as the title suggests, we are in the GCPD, where Penguin's crew has apparently taken over. What you're going to want to do is perch yourself up in this location right here, and you're going to equip your electrical charge gun, shoot all 3 generators, just within a couple seconds. That will move back the metal frame guarding this glass window, and then you can drop down and do a fear multi-takedown, and that will allow you to take out 2 or 3 of these guys right away. And then this will turn into kind of a standard combat encounter. There's a number of little guys, and then there are 2 of the big guys running around. So, as is usual, what you want to do is build up your combo with the little guys, and then use the instant takedowns on the big guys. Right there, though, I did use the instant takedown on the guy that was going for the gun, because I don't want to have to deal with an armed goon in this case. But as soon as I build up that combo meter once again, there you go, I'm going to use the instant takedown on the big guy, and we'll be good to go. And so, I'll be honest, the first DLC that I recorded was the Red Hood DLC, and I said that was probably my favorite one. I spoke too soon. I forgot about the Nightwing one. Obviously, Nightwing, as I mentioned in numerous walkthroughs of mine, Nightwing is my favorite superhero. And so it comes as no surprise that after further evaluation, I would say this DLC actually is my favorite one. Go ahead and investigate the van right here, and that's going to trigger about a minute and a half to 2 minute cutscene.
You're in jail, Cobblepot. What are you doing with all this?
You're gonna get it, man!
And you were doing so well. You're headed to Gotham. What for?
I ain't telling you nothing!
You know 50,000 volts to the head hurts, right?
Okay, they're busting him out of GCPD. You're too late. It's already happening.
Why so pessimistic? You know, when you fitted this thing with a self-destruct option, you could have asked him why.
That was never a very popular word in Mr. Wayne's vocabulary.
Ah, yes. The stony-faced intractability we loved him for. These guys, on the other hand, look very tractable.
They're tampering, Mr. Grayson. Might be an idea to stop them.
Oh, what the bloody hell's going on up there? Why am I stuck in a lift with no lights?
We cut the power, boss, like you said.
After you, moron, cut the power after I go.
Alright, so as is the case with the other DLCs that we've done up to this point, the length of the DLC is the same. It's about 15 to 20 minutes long, and then the standard kind of layout is the same as well. We're doing, we started with a combat encounter. Here's another little combat encounter, which apparently I'm not doing very well at. Then we're going to get into kind of a big Predator encounter, kind of a tough one too, given the layout of the map, and then we'll end with a final combat encounter. One thing that you might experience if you're playing this for yourself, and this kind of carries over throughout all the games, Arkham Origins, Arkham City, and Arkham Knight, I find that, and it's really odd that this happens, but I always find that when I play as a different character, I do worse in the combat encounters. And granted, you know, I still usually don't actually die,
Couldn't agree more.
but I have a harder time.
Mind installing the remote uplink device. We can see what damage they've done.
So this part here is pretty funny. I'm gonna let you listen to what Nightwing says.
Someone talk to me. What's going on?
Sorry, boss. We're not getting you out of there anytime soon.
Why the bloody hell not?
'Cause we just got our asses kicked.
Hang on, who's it? Oh no. Not you.
The one and only, Oz. Look, just relax. Now that I'm here, I'll have you back down and behind bars in no time.
Piss off.
Alright guys, so
You
I'm
know
going
I
to
love
talk
when you get angry.
in a couple seconds
Okay, I'm connected.
about that
They've
conversation
got the
between
job, but not
Nightwing
good
and
enough.
Penguin.
I got rebound power,
Before
but it means
that
rewiring
happens
some
though,
junction boxes.
you're going to be
They're
given
on
this
the
new
floor
objective, and you're going
I'm
to
on
see
it.
kind of a big cut in the video here.
So, I've been
Because what will
thinking,
happen is you will have to
You,
go
pretty much
downstairs
own
to do a
everything now,
Predator
huh?
encounter.
I hope you're not going to ask me for a loan, Mr. Grayson.
But I bet you've been throwing some mad parties, right?
Off the chain, I believe they say.
So anyway, you start this Predator encounter, and it's a little hard to navigate, so that's why you saw the cut in the video, because it took me a couple tries to get down the right pattern. But basically what you want to do, or at least what I found the best approach, is I like to go from top floor, or at least higher floor, to lower floor. So I'm going to drop down, I'm going to start right here on the upper floor. You can see there are 3 enemies patrolling. One of them is a medic, so of course you're always going to want to make sure to take out the medic as quickly as possible. And then from here we're just going to move down floors. So there's one guy left up here, we'll circle around and get him. And then it becomes a pretty standard Predator encounter. It's just, the hardest part is finding the stairs, believe it or not. You can always go outside and just zip down, but sometimes it's easier to actually use the stairs like a normal human being. So you could see, like right here, I was using these stairs to go up, but that person that you see over there above me, that's just Penguin caught in the elevator. And so that kind of brings me to my next point, like, that's that conversation that Penguin just had with, that Nightwing just had with Penguin, where he pretended to be one of Penguin's goons. That conversation right there pretty much sums up why Nightwing is my favorite character. It's because he has all the combat skills and the training of Batman, but he has the personality of a regular, funny human. And a lot of that is because of Batman. And it's something that I really respect Batman for. You know, Bruce Wayne, his parents were killed right before his eyes when he was a kid. That was just the biggest tragedy he could ever imagine. His life is now just filled with sorrow and vengeance, and you know, he just dedicated his life to warring on criminals. Nightwing went through the same exact thing. You know, Nightwing's parents were killed right before his eyes as a kid. And in the comic books, they explore this relationship further, but they basically talk about how, you know, Batman, he took in Dick Grayson and made him Robin, and he really mentored him so that he wouldn't fall down the same path that Batman fell down. Because at the end of the day, and actually I just read a Batman comic that explored this even further, there was a really good conversation with Batman and this girl named Claire, but she kept asking Batman, like, if he's happy doing what he's doing. And ultimately, he said he does what needs to be done, but no, he's not happy. And so that's kind of where, you know, Batman, he mentored Dick Grayson so that Dick could become a better him. You know, same training, same combat skills, but still live a happy, normal life. And that really shows. And I think, you know I might be overanalyzing it, but I think that one conversation really does show a huge difference between the two characters, because whereas Nightwing had just this funny little back and forth with Penguin, Batman would have just either said nothing, or Batman, you know, when Penguin said, "Who is this?" Batman would have just said, like, "Yes," or something like that. So I don't know, I really liked that conversation. Now, on a side note, you might have heard, while Nightwing was talking to Lucius Fox, you might have heard him say, "Hey, so you own everything now." And you might be wondering what that's all about, so I mentioned this at the end of my walkthrough. So remember, at the end of Arkham Knight, Again, spoilers right here, but you can find the playlist in the description down below. Remember, at the end of Arkham Knight, Batman's identity was outed to the world, and the whole world knew that Bruce Wayne was Batman. So obviously that would imply that Bruce Wayne is, that Batman's going to retire, because the whole thing that makes Batman Batman is that criminals fear him, because they don't really see him as a man. They just see him as this creature. But now that the world knows it really is just a man under a mask, the opinions change, and Batman kind of loses that symbolic importance. So it's kind of heavily implied that Batman would be retiring, but it's never really shown. So what I recommend you guys do if you're interested, and I mentioned this in my walkthrough, look up on YouTube Batman Arkham Knight real ending, or Nightmare ending, or Nightfall Protocol ending, something like that, just so you could see what the actual ending is, because it kind of gives you a little bit more detail about what happens to Batman at the end of this franchise. Now, that's something that I kind of wish I would have filmed so we could have talked about it, but alas, I never did, because in order to unlock that ending, you need to do all the side quests, which I never did. So yeah, I won't talk about it too much here, but rest assured, there are a ton of videos on YouTube, those game theory channels. And there are a lot of people who hypothesize about the ending and talk about different things like that. So it is a big discussion starter.
By the way, Miss Gordon Drake, I should say, was kind enough to send some pictures. The island retreat looks lovely.
Aw, my heart melts.
So that's pretty cool too. Lucius just told Nightwing that he got wedding pictures from none other than Oracle and Robin, Tim Drake. And that's actually something, the next DLC that I'm going to publish tomorrow, I'm going to do the Robin one, and you'll get to hear from them. And they have just gotten married, but instead of having a honeymoon, they're out fighting crime. So pretty cool. In fact, I will say one thing.
Lucius, we're done.
Establishing power now.
One funny thing is, in that secret ending that I told you about, and I'll go ahead and reveal this, but if you do watch that secret ending, there's a billboard up that says Gordon for mayor, and apparently it's Commissioner Gordon running for mayor.
And while you're at it,
So
cut the light.
So it's kind of cool to see, how these characters, which path these characters take after the events of this game. In fact, also in the cutscene that ends this DLC, you'll see Nightwing talking to Aaron Cash, one of the GCPD officers that was a security guard way back on Arkham Asylum, and you'll kind of hear a little bit about them, or a little bit about Nightwing's plans as well. Anyways, the last thing we have to do is we have to come back up to this rooftop, engage in one more skirmish, and then we can get Penguin out of the elevator, and that will be the end of the DLC. Now, for some reason, I don't know why this is, but whenever I fight as a different character other than Batman, and I think I've mentioned this in other DLCs, but whenever I fight as another character other than Batman, I find it really hard to get the timing down. So you see, I already took 2 hits from that big guy, which knocked down my health quite a bit. And I don't know, I always find it harder to maintain my combos when I'm playing as other characters. I think the timing is slightly different, and I don't know if this is my imagination or not, but it always feels like the other characters just aren't as fast as Batman, which realistically would make sense because Batman is the best fighter amongst them. But I don't know if they would actually go as far as to kind of like program that, like which characters are actually faster than others. But I don't know, it might just be my imagination. Either way, just finish off this fight as usual. Use the little guys to build up your combo, and then use the instant takedowns on the big guys just to get them out of the way. You can see I'm kind of struggling to start another combo. I keep missing. Like, I don't know what I was doing right there. But anyway, guys, we're getting pretty close to the end of the DLC. Again, you're going to see some cool conversations between Nightwing and Penguin right at the end here. So let's finish off these goons. Thank you for watching, and I'll join you at the end of the video.
Okay, Oz. Let's get you out of that elevator. Area's secured, Lucius. Reconnect power to the elevator.
Hey, boss! We're getting you out!
You are? Where's Nightwing?
Oh, he's right here. We thought you'd want to say hello.
Oh, I do.
Ah, sod off.
Much obliged. Maybe we should get that light on the roof fixed. Change the symbol. What do you say?
Thanks for the offer. But this isn't permanent.
Hey, little man. Place hasn't been the same without you.
Get stuffed.
Alright guys, there you have it. Nightwing's DLC is now completed. Once again, thank you for watching. Let me know what you thought in the comments down below, and I will see you in the next video.